know if you can hear that thunder. It's supposed to pass. It's supposed to get sunny skies. Then it's supposed to come back again. Hopefully it passes. I think it will. So, hi folks. We're at it again out here in the mountains of Vermont with our metal detector, looking for treasure. And we find ourselves on a piece of property that I found. I was doing some research, a local history book, and I saw mention of this place. Contacted the landowner, asked him permission to come out here and metal detect. And the first thing he said was, "Oh, you're not going to find anything out there." And I just said, "Hey, you know what? What's the hurt in me trying? You can have everything I find. I just want to come out here, have fun, and film it." He said, "Yeah, go ahead." So here we are, seeing if maybe we can prove him wrong. See if we can find a few things out here. Pretty sure there's an old home site. Certainly a lot of stone walls you can probably see behind me, but I'm almost positive that there's going to be a home out here. So we've got a little ways left to walk. Hopefully we don't get struck by lightning. See you when we get there. Alright, well, we have arrived. Found the cellar, lots of stone walls around here, and got my metal detector out, turned it on, and I know a lot of people who watch my videos don't really know anything about metal detectors, so I'll try to explain this as simply as I can. But as you can see, we've got a black splatter on the screen, and when I turn it on, we've got nothing. Oop, the battery shows up. But usually there's stuff on here for us to look at. And there's a piece of iron right here. And we are getting nothing on the screen. So, I don't know how or when this happened. I keep it in a bag, throw it around my shoulder, but I've got a problem here today. So we're gonna do the best we can, I guess. Typically I don't look at the screen, but it was kind of chattering, like by itself. So I don't know. We're gonna do our best. See, maybe we can prove the landowner wrong here today. Well, we got our first target with our broken machine. It was an iron tone. I couldn't tell, where it was on the spectrum, if it was going to be a teeny tiny little tack nail or, a cannonball, but it wound up being a fork. It's an old fork, just a 2-pronger. The handle looks like it's a little bit broken, but it wouldn't have been a whole lot longer than that. Hey, you know what? That's a good find, given the circumstances. Very old relic. Cool. Well, let's see what else we can do. Alright, well, it hasn't been long. I'm kind of in the same area as that fork I just found. Got a very deep, again, couldn't tell how deep from my machine, but I dug and dug until I found it, and it wound up being this very old pewter spoon handle. So we've been here, I would say, 20 minutes. We've got 2 targets that are worth showing. I found a lot of nails already. But so far so good, this is old stuff. Very well could be some old money out here somewhere. Keep going. Let's keep suffering through here. Alright, well, we just got our first good find here. We're quite a ways from the home right now. I wanted to just take a break from the nails for a little bit. And we wound up with a button, and it's an awesome button. Look at this. It's a ball button, and the back is still intact where it's supposed to be. I've only found a handful of these ball buttons, and either the shank is broken out this way or it's pushed in. But this one is just as how it would have looked. I mean, it was most likely gold plated. And these have a special name in some cases. I can never remember it. It starts with a Z. ZOUAVE. And they're military. I'm not sure if that's what this is or if it's just a civilian version that looks similar, but it's a ball button. This is hollow, and it's all together. That's awesome. See if we can find more stuff like this. Alright, I can hardly believe this one. I just got this target, which typically, again, I can't see the number, typically that is like a big piece of iron, flat iron usually. It's got a chunky sound on either end of the tone, but in the middle it's like this really loud mid-tone. But I wanted to get it out of the way to see if there was some other stuff in this area, just because it was such a large target. And I stuck my hand here and grabbed it. Look, that's a colonial shoe buckle. That is incredible, and it's complete. It was like on the surface. It had leaves on it like this. I reached in, and there it was. Flabbergasted. It does appear to be iron. You know, you have to think about the value of materials back then. Silver, probably your most valuable shoe buckle, and then plated brass, and then iron. It was probably plated in something, so it wouldn't rust right away, but you know, they wouldn't last as long as the brass ones would. That's incredible. It's like, it would have been complete when it was dropped, unless they tossed it because this fork is broken. And it has been exposed to the elements out here for probably a couple hundred years, being just below the ground, so I'm very surprised in the condition that it's in. That is awesome. Alright, well hey, we're gonna pack this tight and make sure it gets out of here in one piece. Find of the day so far. This is incredible. Alright, let's keep going. Well, I don't really see any other parts to it, but just sitting here on this little mossy rock is a, what is that, a femur? A leg bone, it looks like. Probably a deer. You know, there's coyotes out here. Let's keep going. Well, I am chasing around some nails here. You can just hear how full this hole is with iron. But I just, yeah, let's see what this is. Yeah, another nail. Lots of these today. You'll also notice, the reason I turned the camera on, is there's just a ton of this pottery in here. Isn't that pretty? The thing I actually wanted to show you, I just lost because I went searching for that nail. Where'd it go? Here it is. I just found some window glass when looking for this. But look at this. This is just a giant piece of clear glass. When I first saw it, I was like, whoa, is that a crystal? But it's not a crystal. Broken shard of clear glass. Maybe the bottom of a bottle? Don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. If I had like a sifter, I could just throw all this dirt, shake it like a like a flour sifter, and I'd probably be able to find a lot more of this. But I'd settle for a metal detector that's working right over a sifter. All right, let's keep going. See what else we can find here. All right, well, I don't know what's going on here, but apparently this is the place with the iron shoe buckles. Because I just found another piece of one this time that's all iron. Look at that. That would have been a big one. It's just the, you know, the inner part. I've never actually really seen one quite like this. I thought that this was a tooth, but it's not. That's all just one piece here. There's a lot of iron buildup here, which with some care we can probably get off of there. But it looks like it's basically complete. I suspect the strap would have, you know, this would have gone into holes in the strap, and then the strap would have just come down through here, and then this would have just been a decoration. That's amazing. Let's keep moving. All right, well, I think I'm in like the footprint of maybe like an outbuilding or something right here, because I've been finding a lot of iron, more than usual, and of all the common things to find, buttons, coins, buckles, this is my favorite, always. Doesn't matter how big, how small. Look at that. A little iron key. I'm trying to figure out if it's intact or not. I think it is. A little iron. It looks pretty utilitarian, it's not really pretty at all, an iron key. Probably a padlock, I would guess, or a treasure chest of gold coins. Probably a padlock. Isn't that awesome? Let me get it cleaned up just a little bit. All right, yeah, I'm going to say that it was a padlock because you can see that the end here was hollow. It busted out. Probably could have still worked, but awesome. Little padlock key. I would love to find a padlock from this era, late 1700s. If we do find the padlock, we'll be able to open it, right? One of my favorite finds today, for sure. Let's keep going. Big one. Coming back. Windy too. Got my wife sending me text messages, giving me updates on the weather. She said this is not going to stick around, so I'm going to keep going. But I just wanted to point out something. If I've got dirt all over my face, I don't know what they are. If there's like silkworms or there's some kind of caterpillars, they like drop like leaves and pine needles down on these threads. And also there are just a ton of spider webs everywhere, and I'm walking face first into them, and then I, wipe my face with my hands, and I get a dirty face. So it's just, I can't stand having them on my face. I feel like I've got one right there too. I've mentioned this in the past, and very kind subscribers and commenters have mentioned how you can wave a stick out in front of you and knock them down before you run into them face first. But unfortunately, I've got my metal detector in my hand, and it needs to be on the ground. So, all right, let's keep metal detecting and see if we can find a few more things with this sad excuse for a metal detector. Alright, well, I have been finding a lot of cutlery. We got a fork, and we got a spoon handle, and now we just got a knife handle. And knife handles are not out of the ordinary, but this one is incredible to me. The wood, I think this is wood, might be even bone, is still intact for the most part. That is yeah, it's definitely bone. That's incredible. I've never found one with bone that actually has the pattern still in there. This is very, very old, and for it to be in this, I mean, obviously it's broken, but this part, at least, be in this condition is incredible. Great, great find. All right, let's keep moving. All right, well, we just got an iron fragment here, and I've been kind of staring at this thing, trying to figure out what it might be, and I thought maybe I'd include you guys. I mean, it's clearly a saw, right? And we've got, it looked like it would have hooked into something there, and we've got the same thing on this side, but it's broken. I'm wondering if it would have been the kind that was in this like big wooden frame. I'm not exactly sure the name of those things. An old artifact from days gone by. Pretty much unchanged. Alright, let's keep going. Holy smokes. Alright, well, this is my first high tone of the day. It's been, God, I don't know, 5 hours? Something like that. Been here a long time. I was starting to think that maybe the machine just wasn't giving me high tones anymore. Just, I don't know, whatever broke in there. But we finally got one. I can tell just by how quiet it is. It's super deep. I don't know what the number is. You have as much information as I have here. Let's see what it is. Still a good tone. It's a good sign. Oh my God, it's a silver coin. Oh man, what a day. What a day. Before we look at it, it's just, I have to try to convey how rough it's been trying to find good tones without being able to see the screen on this metal detector. It's unbelievable. I thought to myself, you know what, I don't really look at the screen anyways, but apparently I do more than I thought. All right, man, I have got no indication right now. We're gonna spray it together here. Huh. Don't recognize that. Let's do this side. What do we think? God, I don't know. It did not clean up very good, did it? Alright, I cleaned it up a little bit more with my thumb and the water, and we can start to see some text down there. Do you see that? Looks like a 177 something, and then CA, which is Latin for Charles. And you can just make out the bust here, the guy facing right. And then we flip this, you can see SPAN over there. This is a Spanish half real. Man, what an amazing end to a day. First high tone of the day, all the way at the end, and it winds up being a silver coin. I am more than happy with this. After the day, I'm gonna pack up and let's see what we found today. All right, folks, we're gonna call it a day. You know, considering the circumstances, I think we did okay. It's gonna rain, otherwise I'd spend a little bit more time here, but I'm just sick of fighting that metal detector, and I don't want to get wet. So let's check out the things that we found today. All right, here we have all the items from the day, and like I said, considering the circumstances, I think we did pretty good. We found this saw, which I'm not exactly sure what the frame would have looked like that this went into, if it was kind of more like our modern hacksaw, the tensioning and all that, but I thought it was interesting enough to show the landowner and possibly take home if he doesn't want it. A big, beautiful iron shoe buckle, almost 100% complete, and then the inner workings of another shoe buckle, which is probably also iron. We found 11 buttons today, including the ball button, and this button, which I didn't show, which is all iron, and it is in fact hollow, so this would have been, I don't think necessarily they call it a blown button if there aren't holes in the back, but it's old for sure. We found the padlock key, which before the Spanish coin was my favorite find of the day. You know, it always makes your mind race what they were using the padlock for, what they were locking up and protecting, and here we are a couple hundred years later with the key. If only we could find the padlock with the treasure chest attached to it. And then finally we have our Spanish half real. This one is more than likely created in Mexico City. It is just an amazing thing to find a Spanish coin from the 1700s here in the mountains of Vermont, in essentially at the middle of nowhere. It's really, really incredible. Overall, you know, like I said, considering the circumstances with our broken metal detector, I think we did pretty good. So I cannot wait to show the landowner the things we found today. It's just gonna blow his mind. You know, he didn't think we were gonna find anything. Wound up finding a silver coin from the 1700s. It's unbelievable what you can find in this hobby. It makes it so that it never really gets old. Every time you come out, you just absolutely never know. All right, folks, I'm gonna start hiking out of here. Thanks again for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next Friday.